Messi. Oh, brilliant skill from Lionel Messi. Surging forward with real menace here. Brilliant from Messi. Oh, what a goal that is!
Yes, good morning. Good morning. A really early morning for Steve there in the United States. What's the time, Steve?
5:04 a.m.
5:04 a.m. I mean, why you're up is just unbelievable. But do you know what, Steve? You are up. So good morning to you, my friend. Good morning to you. Hopefully you weren't drunk last night. You didn't have a late one.
No, I actually didn't. You're right. That's probably why I am up so early.
Good. Well, Steve, listen, it's a big day for Premier League football today. It's one of those rare occasions where it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 Premier League games on in the same day. This is a very rare occurrence. Normally, you've got 4 or 5 on the Saturday, 2 or 3 on the Sunday, then 1 or 2 Monday, whatever it may be. But there are 8 games today, and of course, Tottenham Hotspur, my boys. You're a surrogate Spurs fan, whether you like it or not. By the way, you're a surrogate Spurs fan.
What does that mean?
It means that because you stream with us a lot, that you're more than welcome to celebrate our goals.
I'm being brainwashed into it.
Yeah, you're coming in. You're joining our cult. The cult of Spurs, the cult of Daniel Levy. But big up. Listen, first of all, before we get deep into that, big up to everyone in the chat. Smash the like button. Come on, we know the admin. We know the rules, don't we, Steve? We know the admin rules by now.
You gotta hit the likes, subscribe, share it all around on social media and stuff. Hit the likes, comment, all that good stuff.
Absolutely. So, guys and girls, this has been a first of 2 streams today. The second stream will be a lot bigger. This stream is just a quick hour before we send you over to Perchy. He'll be doing a review of the game as well at 11, just 11:05. But Steve and I are going to talk about this game. We'll dabble into some of the other Premier League games that are going on today as well. And then I'll be back at 2. No, that's a complete lie. I've lied already. Not a good way to start the day, as my mum used to say to me. Don't start the day by lying. Makes me sound like a compulsive liar. Look, we'll be back at 4:30 today. We'll catch the tail end of the 3 o'clock UK kickoffs, and then we'll go straight into team news and the hour before the Spurs Liverpool game for build-up. Then we'll be doing the watch-along, and then we'll stick around afterwards because win, lose, or draw, people will want to come on, want to have their say, want to cry, want to laugh, want to vent, whatever they want to do. Steve, good morning to you. How are you today? You well?
Yeah, I'm good, man. I'm good. I just kind of woke up out of nowhere, but yeah, I'm doing good, bro. A lot of good football on today. So just excited.
Yeah, loads of good football, by the way, not just in the Premier League. There's Bundesliga games.
Yeah.
We've got Leipzig versus Bayern at 5:30 today.
Yeah.
So, Steve, if you are joining us for the watch-along, I'm sure you'll have that on in the background as well. We've got the Serie A. You've got Milan versus Lazio today. That's a big game. You've got Girona, top of the league. Second now, because I think Barca won last night, didn't they? You've got second in the league, Girona versus third in the league, Real Madrid. Girona, who have scored 18 goals this season. Until last night, they were the top scorers in La Liga. But let's talk Premier League for the moment. We'll get into Tottenham, Liverpool in a minute. We'll go through some of the comments in the chat. Just so you know, the 12:30 kickoff, so just over 2 hours' time. Really good game at Villa Park. Aston Villa versus Brighton. Both, I keep hearing people saying that Villa are struggling. Villa are 2 points behind Tottenham and Arsenal. So if they're struggling,
they're doing well.
They're doing well. Win today, they could go into third. Brighton win this afternoon, they could go into first for the time being. You've then got Bournemouth versus the noisy neighbours Arsenal. Everton versus Luton. I would say a bottom of the table clash. But if Everton win that, they cement themselves comfortably in mid-table. You've then got Man United versus Crystal Palace. Man United, I believe, have won a couple of games in a row now. So their fans are starting to... I'm seeing all these fans start now talking about, Amrabat and the difference he's made. They've played Burnley and Palace's B team. Newcastle, your boys are at home to Burnley, Steve. We'll touch on that a bit later.
Nice.
West Ham will be hoping for 3 points at home to Sheffield United. Wolves at home against treble winners Man City. And then Tottenham versus Liverpool is the game that we're going to be talking about right now. Steve, as a neutral and not a surrogate Spurs fan, what do you think when you think of Tottenham Liverpool? Is this a fixture that most other football fans are looking forward to? Whether they like Spurs and Liverpool or not, it's a big game, good football.
I would definitely say so. Like, look, like, okay, you know, the London fans of the other clubs, like, they don't have to like you, but they can still enjoy the way you play football or whatever, just as a neutral. I've heard many people talk about Spurs and the really, really, you know, good football that you guys are playing. Like, it's okay to acknowledge, like, no, I think it's definitely a good game because you guys are kind of similar, to be honest. You concede goal. You have the potential to concede goals, but you can score them. And you have two very good goalkeepers. I know one's up here, one is there, but I do actually think the goalkeepers are going to be crucial today because think about it. Those are the guys that are going to be put under the most work. They could be facing 20 shots, 10 on target apiece easily. So I think the goalkeepers are actually going to play a big part in this.
Yeah, it's something you touched upon there. We'll move on to the goalkeepers in a bit, but you know, I think some people are giving Spurs credit for their. Sorry, I don't know the light coming in. I don't know why. Some fans are giving Spurs credit for the way that they're playing. I'm still seeing people though belittle Tottenham. I don't know the guy's name. I'll call him out for as far as I can. I don't know his name. I was watching a clip popped up on my YouTube reel from DR Sports, and there's some guy straight away, right? This is what I don't like about football fans is this. I think Liverpool will beat Spurs. Cool. That's fine.
Yeah.
Cool. Have your prediction.
It's a close game. The odds are close.
I think Liverpool will beat Spurs, and Spurs will be humbled and we'll get a reality check. Now, what I think is, why is it a reality check? So if we lose to Liverpool, one of the best teams in the country, why does that suddenly mean that all the progress we've made, why does that mean it's redundant? Why does that then mean that we've got a reality check? Isn't it just we lost a game? Like, why is every game, basically, Steve, every game is so dramatic? You know, like, they lost, oh my God, they're rubbish, their manager's rubbish. They win a game, they could win the league. Do you know what I mean?
Everything's polarized nowadays, Savva. That's why. Everything is polarized. I get it because my brain is black and white. I'm on the spectrum. Like, I get it, but there's black and there's white in life. My mom always said there's gray. There's gray. You need to acknowledge the gray. It's not the end of the world if Spurs lose today. And at the same time, it's not the start of a dominant. It's not, you know, it's not the start of you guys dominating the league for 10 years in a row with Postecoglou if you win today, right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, for me, I think if you guys win today, and I think you will by an interesting scoreline, I think that you guys should be excited because Liverpool are a very good opponent. I think you have the personnel to score a lot of goals on them, and you have you've got the home crowd as the advantage, so I don't see why not.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, look, I think for me, you know how, look, you've streamed with me long enough, Steve, to know how I am now, right? I like to think I'm quite level-headed. And one of the things that Perchy and I have been having a lot of conversation about is really struggling to find football fans to have a debate with. And what do we mean by that? Not a row, but football fans that want to have a deep conversation about the games. You know, what you tend to get is a lot of football fans that just literally come on. Like, if I invite most Arsenal fans, Liverpool fans, most fans come on and just go, oh, your team's rubbish. None of your team would get in R11. We're going to batter you.
Where's your trophy?
Right. Where's your trophies is another one. Yeah. What I want is I like people that can come on and I say, listen, you guys got a good attack. I do feel we can get you at the back. Are you worried? Yeah, listen, we are slightly weak. But I'm watching so many of these panel shows now that, don't get me wrong, they've grown to like 25,000, 30,000, 100,000. and it's just full of people in the chat. No one who can actually have a succinct argument about football. Everything is just so biased against their own club. And when these fans go on and go, oh, Spurs are going to be humbled. Now, if Spurs lose the game, all we're going to hear is we were humbled. But aren't Liverpool the favourites? Shouldn't Liverpool be the favourites? They're Liverpool that have had their manager for 8 seasons.
7, 8,
with players like Mo Salah, Virgil van Dijk. Right, they've just spent money on a brand new midfield. They should be winning.
Shobo.
Yeah.
They have a terrific midfield. Midfield, I still do think they need a 6. That's why I don't think they'll win the Premier League. They could contend for it, but that is going to bite them one of these games.
You don't think Endo? For me, I think Endo was bought as a utility player, but you don't think he could slot in and be that number 6 given time?
They needed someone a bit more quality. I like Endo, but I think you needed someone like a Rodri, somewhere around that level. Maybe not Rodri exactly. Obviously, you can't, but someone of that ilk. That's what I've been talking about with Liverpool fans throughout the whole summer. They were like, need a 6, because we're already defensively lacking. They already have problems defensively, especially with the depth. Like Joe Gomez, I think he's all right, but I do think injuries have taken a toll on that guy. He's a solid player. But I do think the injuries. Same thing with Matip. I think the gas is running out of the tank a little bit. Same thing with Van Dijk. I still think he's at a very high level, but he was at a wow.
Yeah.
So it just looks the perception is that he was amazing and now he's shit. No, he's not crap now. He's just very good, not amazing. He just looks, you know what I'm saying? But I do think I do think defensively they did need a 6, but still very good.
I mean, look, I'm looking at the form table, and I'm looking at over the last. Look, first of all, let me look at it over the last 10 games. Over the last 10 games, so if we go into the last 4 games of last season, Steve, as well, Liverpool are second in the form table, only behind Man City. Then if we bring it closer, which is more relevant, if we look at the last 5 games, Liverpool have played 5, won 5, scored 14. So they're averaging just under 3 goals a game and conceded 4. So they're averaging, what's that, 0.75 goals conceded a game. Now, Tottenham have played 5, this is the last 5, by the way, played 5, won 4, drawn 1, scored 13, let in 5. So, look, apart from the dropped 2 points against Arsenal last week, it's very similar form. I keep hearing how both teams can't defend, but how can 2 teams that can't defend be so high up in the form table and not losing games?
That's true. You did kind of bust that myth, Savva.
Right.
But what I would say is that there are maybe I phrased it wrong, that you guys can't defend. I would say that it's not the main strength of your team, right?
Sure,
you are not a out and out defensive side. Neither are Liverpool. I would say your forwards are the strong point of your team. For Liverpool, likewise, I would say their forwards are the thing that actually makes them special. At the back, I just think, like that. Actually, the thing is, Van de Ven has been like impeccable for the most part. I can't remember anything he's done wrong. He's been 7, 8, maybe even 9 out of 10 for most
quality player.
Honestly, very good player. So I think he's been fine. Romero had that own goal, which I think he should have done way better on in second half against Arsenal. He's been pretty damn good this year, so I'll give it to him. With Liverpool, though, I think their defense is maybe a little bit weaker than yours at the moment because they keep going 1-0 down.
Yeah.
I don't think.
But they're bouncing back, right? They're bouncing back from
Here's the thing. Savva, do you remember? And this is not trying to compare this team to another. Do you remember when Man United had Ole Gunnar Solskjaer during COVID, and they would do this? Yeah. They would go 1-0 down, and then the second half. Again, I'm not saying this that Man United team is awful compared to this Liverpool team. But what I am saying is that remember when it all blew up in Ole's face when they lost like 4-0 to Watford?
Yeah.
They kept falling behind, and eventually someone took their chance when they went 1-0 up.
Yeah.
So I think this kind of thing, it's not.
It can't go on forever. It can't go on
Right.
forever. But when you actually look at this game, by the way, I'll get to some questions and super chats in a minute.
Yeah.
Please keep smashing the like button, people. There's nearly 250 of you in here and rising. Only 86 likes. So come on, we're just over a third of likes. Smash that like button, people. We know the drill. And for anyone that would like to subscribe, please do subscribe. It really does help the channel grow. And please do, if you would like the link to vote for Savva for Best New Content Creator, please ask me for the link and I'll put that in as well. I mean, when you look at these, when you look at both of these teams today, Steve, both these teams this season have notoriously started very slow. Right? So even if you look at Spurs, you look against Arsenal, very, very slow start. Burnley, very slow start. Yeah, Man United, very slow start. I can't even think about who was in between. Sheffield United was, I mean, it was a weird game because we had all the ball. But, you know, Liverpool, keep going. 1-0 down to Wolves, should have been out of sight. Wolves should have been out of sight. 1-0 down to West Ham. West Ham should have been out of sight. 1-0 down to Leicester at midweek. So, for me, neither of these two teams start fast. So, who's going to take that upon themselves to go, right, well, one of us has got to start fast, right? One of us has. Is that going to be the home team, or do you think Liverpool will mix up their game today?
I think it'll be you guys again because Liverpool keep giving up the first goal. When Lask Linz, Championship Leicester, Wolves, those are not three superstar, outstanding powerhouses of world football. 3 bang average sides.
Yeah.
They all managed to take some of those games were at Anfield. One of them was in Austria. One of them was at Wolverhampton. Bro, everybody and anybody can score on them, and they are slow starters. The difference is today is that let me check who they've played. You're probably, I would definitely say you are their toughest opposition they've faced. You could argue Newcastle. Okay, so Liverpool played Newcastle. So we could debate who's the tougher, but whatever. I would say it's probably a bit tougher to play you guys right now than us. Probably a little bit. So this is their toughest test this season, and it's not at Anfield. So I think the difference is if you guys will take your chances and not just go 1-0 up, I think you'll go 2.
Oh, wow.
I think this is the day, because you have the personnel to hurt them. You have the personnel to expose that weak defense. You could be the game where Liverpool are like, we got to stop going 1-0 down. We need to shore up the defense. Because that's what remember when Wolves should have been 2-3, maybe even 4-0 up at one point, and it just didn't happen. They paid the price. Newcastle should have done the same exact thing. It eventually happens. Liverpool eventually will give up a lot of goals in the game. I think today's the day, to be honest.
It's going to be interesting, isn't it? You've got two good teams that like to play I like this saying, the right way, should we say.
Oh, Jogo Benito.
Yeah, the right way, should we say. Yeah. And we've just been joined by a girl who loves Spurs. Here she is. Here's Kate. How are you, love? You all right?
Yeah, good, thank you. First of all, why is no one liking the stream? Why is no one subscribing? And why is no one voting? Get on it now. It's Spurs Day.
Exactly.
Rude.
Exactly.
That game's in 7 hours, man.
Yeah, I know. 7 hours. 7 hours, the game will kick off. Listen, let's start with some news. The team news that we've had in the last 48 hours. That's a lie. Since I finished streaming yesterday, in the last 24 hours, Kate, Ange has said that Brennan Johnson is 100% missing the game. I think we kind of knew that the way he pulled up last week. It didn't look like it was a weak injury. And Sonny and Maddison should be fit. I think they both will be. I think they'll both start the game today. if I'd offered this to you yesterday out of 3 injury concerns, that would be the best case scenario if you had to miss one of them, right? Surely.
Oh my God, 100%. I didn't think for a second Maddison and Sonny would be out. I thought it was all a bit of mind games. All the managers do it. Will they be fit? Won't they be fit? But I'm a bit disappointed for Brennan Johnson because I would have loved to have seen him take Kulu's place. Or have the option to take Kulu's place. But if you had to choose one of the 3 to be missing, it's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, it's so important, Steve, isn't it, that Spurs are that team where you've got to have Maddison fit. We're not Man City. We can't say, De Bruyne is injured. All right, well, we've now got Matheus Nunes. We've got Kovacic. We've got Alvarez. Spurs don't have a replacement. If he hadn't played, I don't know what Spurs would do. If I'm brutally honest, I don't know. People in the chat, answer on a postcard. If Maddison wasn't to play, he is playing as far as we're aware. Yeah. What would Spurs do? Who goes into that playmaker position? I genuinely don't know. Does Son drop in there and Richarlison goes up top? Does Kulu go in there? And I don't know. What would happen, Steve?
I got absolutely no idea. Maybe you could put I don't know Basuma. Maybe you would have to go to a standard 4-3-3. I think 3-8s. I think that's what you'd have to do, and you'd have to throw in a Højbjerg, or you'd have to throw in a Skip. You'd have to. I don't know.
I'd play Porro more forward and have Emerson Royale. Unfortunately, I'd put him up there, and I wouldn't bring. I would avoid playing Richarlison at all costs at all times if I could.
Me too.
But,
you know what I would? You know what? Actually, I would do. I would try Kulusevski 10.
Right.
I would try that. I mean, it's not ideal, but that's probably what I would try. Maybe, okay. Maybe you could say Liverpool. Liverpool is not the game to experiment, but to be honest, you aren't the favorites in the game. Like, and if Maddison doesn't play, you have to do something, right? So maybe I don't know. That's what I would do. And then you're right. You could do Porro more forward, or you could put Brian Johnson in there. So
either way, it'd be extremely worrying if he wasn't there.
Yeah, it is. I mean, we drop off so much if he's not there. And people could talk about Kulu going there. I'm not against it, but for me, I James Maddison as a footballer is up there. Kulu for me is. I'm sorry, people will have a go at me for it. I think he's miles off of what James Maddison is as a footballer, technically, skill-wise, everything-wise. I just don't think he's as good as Maddison. If we look, Kate, the other question mark then now is last week when we started, it looks like the 11 will start that started last week, other than Brennan Johnson, as we know. So the question mark is, do we just go like for like? Do we just chuck Solomon back into the left wing, which is my favourite option? Or does he start trying to mess about with it? And does your mate Richarlison, Jim's mate Richarlison, does he come in up front and Sonny left? Surely it won't be that, will it?
No. Oh my God, I've heard so many people say this. No, we've tried it. It doesn't work. Right. Richarlison number 1 is not good enough, and Sonny doesn't suit playing on the wing. So it's a no-brainer for me. Bring Solomon in, and I don't think Angel would ever make that many changes for such a big game to sort of move it around. Sonny's working exactly where he is. Just put Solomon in and keep Richarlison keeping the bench warm, please.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think this is worrying. Steve, can you understand it? And by the way, just quickly before I ask Steve this question, guys and girls, keep liking, keep subscribing. We've had no subscribers this morning. There's just under 300 of you in here. I fail to believe you have all subscribed. Please smash the like button as well. Only 119 likes. It's match day. If we can't get up for a home game against Liverpool, come on. Us YouTube creators will try and keep the content going for you, but we need some love back, surely. Steve, I don't understand this, right? Whenever something happens at Spurs, I start seeing I think Richarlison should go in there. He'd be a handful for the Liverpool back four. But why are Spurs fans, not all, some, why are some Spurs fans desperate to get Richarlison back in the team? When Spurs started playing much better football, and scoring more goals when he wasn't in the team.
It doesn't make any sense. That would be like me asking for Chris Wood back on loan from Forest. That's about as much sense as that makes because both guys can score headers sometimes. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense at all. If it's like a last minute thing and you need a goal, like the Sheffield, cool. But like, I don't get it at all. And I think I don't think what's it called? I don't think he's going to be playing. He's starting anyways for you guys regardless. So, and I don't even think those people that are advocating for Richarlison, I don't know how serious they are about that or if they are, just trolling or something. I got no idea, but
I think it's sentimentality. I really do. I think it's because
everybody. What's the sentiment? That's the thing.
Yeah, that's what I think it is. Because people want him to do well. Right. Because they go, oh, but he's got so much passion. That's what I hear every time. He plays for the badge. He's so passionate. I don't give a monkeys if he's passionate or not. I just want him to score goals, and he doesn't. So for me,
I just want him to take a normal touch of the football, and not not dispossess himself.
It does worry me because I think football fans get confused between scoring a winning goal as a header and big up Kuva. We've got royalty in the house. We've got Kuva in the house. Yeah, I'll come to you in a second, Kuva. But good morning to you. I think we're just talking about Richarlison and
I heard it. Yeah, I heard what
right. Yeah, so obviously with the news that Brennan Johnson's not playing, honestly, I just thought most people would go, oh right, Solomon. But I'm seeing so many people go, well, just stick Sonny left, Richarlison down the middle, and I'm thinking, whoa, why on earth would you want to take a goal scorer out from up front in a game where you're gonna get in behind Matip and Van Dijk and Alexander-Arnold and Kuva? Do you get it? Like, he scored a header. Yes, he comes on, he scores the winner against Sheffield United or to get us level against Sheffield United. Why do we then all get so sentimental about, he's got to go in the team? He can't play with his feet, Kuva.
Like, come on, he's the GOAT, isn't he?
No, GOAT. Of what? Of what?
No, the only use, as I said all along, the only use you got for Richarlison is if you play to his strengths, which is when you're desperate for a goal, you get him up front and start lobbing the ball in the box and, see if he can cause some sort of havoc. As a footballer, I mean, Sonny's way ahead of him. Better touch, better control, better finishing. You don't want to be taking him out of that central striking role at the moment. The only way you'd alter Sonny being the 9 at the moment is if you're playing what used to be really popular back late 80s, early 90s, playing the 4-4-2 with two really quick forwards.
Yes, yeah.
That would work. I could see him and Solomon or Sonny and Brennan Johnson doing that kind of role.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
For me, if Maddison's going to be missing, I think you're going to put Kulusevski in there. And
that's what I was thinking, Kuva.
Yeah, it's the only natural one, I think. Even that, yeah, he can do the role. But then you probably have to look at a way to get Porro up on the wing, or is Porro, Solomon as the two wingers, then keep Sonny in the middle, Kulusevski behind them. You then got a problem with finding your right back, because I don't really want to put Emerson Royale in, but needs be. We have got a thin squad, so when we need to, we're going to have to do things like that. If you tell him to just defend, Porro's to stay out the other end of the pitch and just take the man on, could work out all right to me. I don't think it's going to be as big a loss as I was thinking it was earlier in the season. I thought I was thinking if Maddison or Bissouma are missing, we're done for. But I kind of think Bissouma and Udogie at the moment are the ones we just cannot afford to.
Not Maddison.
Well, we can kind of use Kulusevski. We still got some talent and pace in the attack without him. Yeah,
I'm gonna have to massively disagree. I think we can cope without Udogie and Bissouma, and not Maddison.
Who's the thing is, Kulusevski, I think he can go in and fill the role Maddison does. He's not going to do it as well, but he can do it. But if Udogie is out, who is coming in at left back at the moment?
Ben Davies, I think.
That's my point.
Huge drop off.
Sure, huge drop off. But let's be fair. At least Ben Davies goes in as a experienced left back. If Maddison drops out, none of them are playmakers. Like none of them. Kulusevski for me.
You could say Richarlison's an experienced number 9.
yeah. Listen, I'm not doubting it. I'm not doubting it. All I'm saying is I'd rather have. Listen, God, Ben Davies versus Richarlison. There's a fight I'd love to see. Listen, but at least with Ben Davies, he's a steady Eddie. Do you know what I mean? Like at least with Ben Davies, you'd say, right, don't go bombing forward too much. Just hold your ground a little bit. With Kulu in the attacking midfield position, I keep hearing it. The one game I remember seeing it last year, hang on, you have to bear with me. Brentford at home towards the end of the season. I want to say we had quite a good first half. And then in true Spursy style, they came back and beat us 3-1, maybe.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah. And Kulu had a lot of the ball driving forward from the midfield. But for me, what I remember completely was that he had no speed of fault. And I think that was the difference for me between him and Maddison, is that he's a tidy footballer. But when Maddison gets it, he's 2 steps ahead. He knows what's going on and he knows where his first pass is going to be.
We are talking about Maddison, one of the top performers in the division.
I agree.
So, I mean, it's going to be a drop down no matter what. I mean, we are talking desperate situations here where some of our key players go missing. We do not have that squad depth, do we? It's going to be very apparent. So,
for sure. Look, we're arguing over, tomato, right? At the end of the day, none of them can really be injured, and we've got competent.
Which one do you like, Savva? Tomato or tomato?
I don't like. I'd be honest, I don't like either. I like a burger or a sandwich that has had the tomato in.
Oh, so you said tomato.
And then you remove the tomato out. Yeah. But we're not going to go down the food route. But I mean, okay. So Kuva, before I move to Kate, so in your mind today, is it a simple swap, Brennan Johnson for Solomon?
Easiest one, isn't it? It's got to be. Got to be.
Yeah.
There's anything that involves Sonny no longer being in the box as often as possible is a bad move.
Mm-hmm.
And anything involving Richarlison on the pitch, unless it's a sub late, is a bad
like
thing.
I said, if you bring him on, last few minutes and he's desperate for a goal, why not? But like you said with Chris Wood, same deal, isn't it? if you're having to throw the ball forward as quickly as possible in desperation, just get in some people that are good in the air. That's the kind of time in the match though when you see his centre backs going up as well, isn't it? We used to see that with Davinson Sanchez at times. We're chasing something and up he went. It's needs and musts. It changes throughout the game depending on the state of the scoreline, really, doesn't it?
Sure.
How the game's shaping up. I think Richarlison's just like I said before, he's not a player that is not my kind of player. I agree. When we had the choice of Jesus or Richarlison, I thought we got the wrong one. Neither of which is an out-and-out goal scorer, but one's
I'd rather have.
One's a footballer, the other's a battering ram. Yeah.
Let's be brutally honest. I think today, if we were all going, all right, Sonny's out, or Sonny's going to go left wing, but Jesus is going to play up top, I don't think we'd be sitting here going, oh my God. I think you'd go, all right, cool, they can interchange. And I don't ever understand. Last summer, Kuva, we had this. I won't get into a debate on it, but we had this loads last summer. I remember so many Spurs fans going, I'm not saying it was just definitely a toss-up, but it was Jesus. And all those fans going, oh, you're sleeping on Richarlison. I don't think so.
The only thing I'm doing while I'm watching Richarlison is sleeping.
Exactly. And the problem is every time he pops up with a goal, by the way, he's got 5 in his Spurs career, all with his head, right? Yeah. 5 in like 50 games. Right. So every time he does that, people then go, you're mudded. I'm really not. Watch him play. I'm really not. I need to get to a couple of super chats. Before I do, Noah Gender has said, good job Spurs haven't got six first team players out. Can you imagine that? Can you name me teams that do have 6 first team players out? And then I'll debate you. I've already got my answer to your next answer in my head. Don't worry. I know where you're going with this. And I'm like Maddison. I'm 2 steps ahead of you on this. This guy, I've got a feeling this guy is about to say, Arsenal.
United.
I've got a feeling he's going to say Arsenal and he's going to start going Martinelli and Trossard. By the way, both can't be first team players. Right? Only one of them can play. Right? Saka. Yeah, cool. I'll give you that. Is Rice playing? Does anyone know? Is he out?
Oh, I don't know.
And other than that, who else is there?
Partey, Timber.
Okay. But Timber for me, is he a first? Is he a first
team? I would start him over Zinchenko all day, every day.
Yeah,
sure.
Because I've watched Murray and Timber a lot. So.
Chelsea have and Man United have, right? Anyway, a couple of super chats. Big up to Blaine Dev, always a massive supporter of the channels. Big up to you, sir. Has said, morning, Savva and Steve. Big up to you both. I'm going really bold today. 3-1 Spurs. Van Dijk won't cope with our pressing at home. We're going to talk about Virgil van Dijk and Matip in a second. But big up to you, Blaine Dev. Thank you very much, sir. And again, thank you very much for the auction when you bought the James Maddison shirt for £335, I think it was in the end. So thank you very much for that. Michael talks football. Don't we all, Michael? We all talk football. I said, big up Savva and fan of many clubs, Steve. Should be a great game today. This game is decided by the stars. Son, Maddison, Salah, Nunes, 3-4 to Liverpool Football Club. We'll come back to predictions in a minute, but thank you so much, Michael. And then Rodney. Oh, my God, Rodney, I've just got rid of your super chat. Now I'm going to have to go back about a mile to find it. There it is. Rodney has said, together we stand, believe. Come on, you Spurs. This is where we are this season now. Everyone's getting a little bit happy, and it's nice to see. Big up, Rodney, one of my favourites. And there is the link for the Football Content Awards. Kate, let me come to you. So let's assume that it's going to be Solomon in for Brennan Johnson. I think we know the Liverpool team. I think we know it's going to be Alisson, Alexander-Arnold, Matip, Van Dijk, Robertson, probably Curtis Jones, McAllister, Soboslai, and then the front three is going to be Salah and two others. We don't know which two. He likes to change it about. Let's look at their centre-halves. It's not what it was, but they are still 18 games unbeaten. So as much as we can sit there as fans and go, they can be got at, Van Dijk's not what he was, Matip's past it, they're still not really conceding goals, and they are 18 unbeaten. So do you see that as a vulnerability, or is that being overhyped as a vulnerability?
First of all, I don't think Trent will start. Myself, I don't think Trent will start. I think he'll be on the bench because he's only just coming back from that knock. So that's the first thing I'd say. But yeah, I do think they're vulnerable at the back, but they're like us. Do you know what I mean? That they've got this philosophy of, you score one, we'll score two. So I don't think Van Dijk is the player he used to be at all. I don't think Matip is, he's a good player, very good player, but he can be got at. The key thing for me is, I think, is the fact we don't stop from minute one to whenever it finishes, 100 minutes. We don't stop pressing. And I think we're going to be able to, take advantage of their tired legs. That's what I really think. I think we will end up, our pace will run them off the pitch by the end of the game. So it's exactly what I'm saying.
Sorry, just quickly, do we... Sorry, just to break away from that, do we not have pace? Pedro Porro, Udogie, Solomon, Van der Ven, Basuma driving from midfield. Sorry,
still quick.
DJ Evo, I feel like you've not... is this another fan of another club who doesn't really watch Tottenham? Like, we had all this last week with the Arsenal fans, didn't we, everyone? Where it was, Spurs just play gung-ho. Now we don't have pace. I think we've got pace in abundance, haven't we?
Yeah.
100%. One of the quickest Spurs sides I've seen.
Yeah, and I think that's what is going to be the difference. I think we will run them off the pitch come the end, but whether that means a draw or a win, I'm not sure. Sorry, Cooves.
Yeah. No. I mean, Kuva, let me come to you. I mean, look, I get it what people are saying. With Van Dijk, he's lost a turn. He's lost a turn of pace. Naturally, that happens as you get older. But obviously, he had that year injury where he was out. He won't want to be facing his own goal, playing against Son and Solomon and Maddison playing through balls to them, will he? That definitely is something that we can latch onto, right?
Yeah, I think perhaps it's a little bit too much read into Van Dijk's drop in form. He's still a great defender. He's just he's just dropped down from that sort of demigod level, hasn't he? Where he's untouchable,
probably
the best in the world. So I think it's not going to be too much of a nightmare for him. He's still got a bit of pace about him. He's still got those really long legs that always manage to make the tackle when you think you're going past him. I think he's gonna be okay. I mean, Alisson as well backing him up. They've got those players that have played for a while together now.
Yeah.
They do concede the goal, but I mean that is more for me on the fact that their midfield has now transitioned back to the days of Coutinho. With I've forgotten his name now. The Hungarian
Szoboszlai.
Szoboszlai. Yeah. I keep wondering that. Szoboszlai, he's basically taken over that Coutinho role. They've become a much more attacking side rather than that hard-working, grafting side when they had Milner and Henderson in there.
Yeah.
They could do that at that phase because they had such a stellar forward line. They've still got that, and now they're even more attacking. So I think, from as far as I'm concerned, Liverpool are the team to watch for entertainment. Second's probably going to be us at the moment.
Brighton as well.
Yeah.
And when we score 8, we're all right to watch.
Yeah. I think Brighton are a little bit more controlled than a lot of teams, though. I mean, we're still finding our way a bit, so we're always open to a bit of a break. I think it could be just one of those games today where it's just going to be really enjoy it. This one where I envy the neutral because you can just watch it.
Exactly. Yeah. No, I'm okay. I actually had a question for you guys. I heard a few people talk about this, and I didn't watch this player, so I got no clue. Does Dominik Szoboszlai remind you of a Hungarian version, a lesser version of a Steven Gerrard? In terms of not he is Gerrard, just the style of player, works hard, can score screamers, assists, is like the heartbeat of the team. For me, Szoboszlai is that player, right? I didn't watch Gerrard. So
No, go on. I was just getting, for me, just quickly, I was going to say it's difficult because Gerrard was the master of all, and the jack. I'll get there in a second. He was the jack of all, master of none. Gerrard for me was the complete midfielder, right? You need him to fill in at DM for a game, you got it. You need him to play out wide, right? You've got it. Attacking midfield, box to box. Szoboszlai for me, I think football's changed from those days, though. Szoboszlai for me is the perfect attacking midfielder coming from central midfield.
But he could also, he's covered a load of
Sure. Just too early for me to say. Again, a 6-game sample size for me. Right. I don't know. But what I do know, Coover, is he's a bloody talented footballer. He is that is a top midfielder. And when you look at what other clubs have been paying for central midfielders, and then what Liverpool, what did they pay for Szoboszlai?
70 million pounds, I think.
Top player.
He's worth every penny for me. I've been watching for years for Leipzig as you'll always give me stick for it, but I am part Hungarian, so it is we haven't had many good players.
And part English and German and Polish and French.
Yeah, no, it was so annoying though because we were linked with him in the summer, and it makes sense why, because we need that, bro.
Steve, I saw you live on a stream during the World Cup final, talking that you were 1/8 Argentinian. Like I saw you pushing that agenda down the YouTube front. Big up. I want to push on that a little bit more. Before we do, just quickly, a super chat here from Jake B that said Liverpool may be 18 games unbeaten, but Ange is 50 games unbeaten at home. Yeah, listen, I mean, stats like this you can chop and change, and the cynic in me would go, sure, but only 2 of those, if I'm right, are at White Hart Lane. Is that right? Only 2? Is it? We've had 2 home games, right? Man United and Sheffield United.
Yeah.
And 4 away games.
You've had a lot
Bournemouth, Burnley, Brentford, and Arsenal. Yeah. But listen. Let Jake. The records are there to be broken either way, aren't they? So let's do that. Matt Spurs, sorry, I just don't understand. When you say it's an insane take, I just wouldn't ever want to remove our top goal scorer from playing through the middle. I don't know if that's me being old school.
It's working.
I never want my top goal scorer playing out wide, and I never want my top goal scorer dropped for any game. Maybe that's just me. And Fiddy has said they disrespect Solomon. They don't deserve Solomon in Spurs. why a player like Solomon will give 100% of him if everybody treats him like garbage.
It's one of the weirdest comments
I haven't seen anyone say anything bad about Solomon. You're on mute, Kate. You've been talking for ages and you've been on mute. I bet Jim wishes he could do that in real life.
It's not a complaint.
I'm just going to leave.
It's not a complaint. I bet Jim wishes he could do that in real life. But
I'm not. Do you know what? The abuse I get is totally unwarranted, I've got to say. I was actually going to say this guy.
Are you going to talk to me about abuse? I've had death letters sent to my house. I mean, you being told to be mute is nothing. I'll send you a death threat to your house. All right, Kate?
Yeah, then it'll make me feel like I've made it. What I was going to say is this guy keeps putting this in all different chats, and I think it's because Ange dropped Solomon for Brennan Johnson. This is the point he's making. I know, but this is what keeps getting... I've seen him in loads of chats saying the same thing, so I don't know the agenda there.
Yeah, I've got a feeling I know who that might be as well. I think it was a guy called Maron, Maron, who kept coming on just telling me how good Solomon was. I've never said Solomon isn't good. I think Solomon, as Kuva, you and I talked about this yesterday, I think Solomon, Kulu, Brian Hill, Brennan Johnson, I think a lot of them are going to find themselves rotated because I don't think any of them are... Sonny's there as a player, right? They're all there as far as I'm concerned. None of them at the moment, you go, boom, you are like Kane and Son, for example. You made Kane, Son, one other, right? Now it's Son, two others for me, only for me. Steve,
with Solomon, Fulham were using him mostly off the bench as well. There's obviously managers, more than one manager is thinking perhaps he's not a starter at the moment. He's got to find a little bit more to his game. It might be he's just adjusting to the league. Sometimes players need that extra year or two. But there's glimpses that shows he's a decent player. That's why we've got him. It's that finding that level of consistency. As soon as we see that, he'll get more game time, won't he?
When's my YouTube fight with Premsy? Me and Premsy speak. I don't know what you are talking about, my friend. I don't know what you're talking about. Good pick.
Boxing fight.
Good, what? Because we had one debate about 4 months ago on a YouTube channel.
You're losing weight, you know?
Mate, listen, you saw the weight bench I've just bought, Steve. Yeah, we're going for it, bro. Hey. We're going for it. It does make you laugh, though. Like, you know what? One comment like that then starts people off like this, and you're like, oh, my God. Like, you know when there's nothing to it? Me and Premsy speak. I'm sure I'm going to see him at the Content Awards as well. Like, I don't know what is wrong with people. Kuva, you raise a good point. Solomon, for me, I think is your perfect squad player. I do. I think he'll know as well. He's not bought to play 38 games, 90 minutes a season. I don't think that's his role. I think Solomon against some teams is going to do absolute bits. Solomon against other teams, I think, will be wasted. And there are lots of footballers that fall into that category. So I don't think it's a bad thing, but he should play today is that would be my overwhelming feeling. Kuva, let me come to you and then I'll move to Kate. Tottenham today at home, very different to last week. Arsenal, all the emphasis was very much on Arsenal as the home team, as the title challengers from last year. They kept saying they were going to batter us. All the emphasis was on them. Is the emphasis on us to come out in the first half and start well? Because we haven't been. Is that emphasis on us today?
I think normally I'd say yes, but we are playing a Liverpool team that's full of confidence, favourites to win the game, and unbeaten in a lot of games now. They're in that sort of bracket for a reason at the moment. So I think it's probably one of these games. It's just a huge game for us. I think it's unreasonable to expect us to come out dominating them. If we do, brilliant. But I think we're just got to just see how it goes. It's too unpredictable how the start of this game is going to go because both teams are slow starters.
Yeah.
So
Kuva, aren't you the same man that said you would win the treble this year, though?
Oh yeah.
Like, I think you guys are going to win 4-1.
Tiger Cup, FA Cup, League, it's all happening. Yep.
Yeah, Steve did message me last night and said 4-1, and I said, dude, like, no, your first message was it was something about trolls. Do you remember? There was something in there about trolls, and then you said Spurs are going to win 4-1. I said, are you turning into one of my trolls?
No,
and then you said, no, look, you truly believe Spurs can get up early in this game and go on and punish them. Is your
because Savva, I think inevitably one of these teams that Liverpool is going to play, they aren't going to get lucky all the time and not and go. You know what I'm saying? Just like I said earlier with the Man United Solskjaer team. Again, that team was crap, and you know, compared to this Liverpool team, I'm just saying in the spirit of you cannot. It's a bad habit to go 1-0 behind, 1-0 behind, 1-0 behind, and again, it's to Lask Linz of Austria, Wolves, Championship Leicester. You know what I'm saying? So it's like eventually someone is going to punish you for that. I think you guys would probably, you know, I think you would agree with that one of these teams is going to score some goals on them. Some Liverpool are going to play someone this year where they actually take their chances.
Yeah,
because they're not, you know, they're not gonna go through every game, and every team is just gonna be unlucky or not have their shooting boots on. That's what I think. I just think you guys could.
Also, what gives Liverpool control of the game is their pressing, isn't it? So if you've got a team that is resistant to that, and I'm looking at Basuma, as long as we don't start off slowly and allow that press to be effective, we move the ball quickly, and we do beat the man on those little individual matchups, take that away from Liverpool. They're just wide open for attacking. So it could be right. I mean, I said earlier in the week, not for score prediction, I'll start at 5-5 and anything below that for either side. I just don't know how this is going to pan out.
Yeah, I agree.
Both got the weapons to hurt each other. It's
exactly.
It's just going to be a blinder, I think.
I just and also I think you guys have the home crowd behind you. You guys don't have to rotate for midweek. I know Liverpool are playing Union Saint-Gilloise, not the strongest team in the world again, a decent team from Belgium. They play some all right football. That's at Anfield, so I know they're not gonna. It's not like the end of the world that they have to rotate. But I just think you guys are in a very, very good moment, and Liverpool, they will concede chances. I've spoken to many Liverpool fans where it's like that is a problem consistently, and someone is going to. They said it themselves, right? A lot of Liverpool fans I'm friends with, they said it themselves. Someone will punish them eventually, and if it's not going to be you guys, who is it going to be then? Man City.
Yeah. Listen, you make a good point, and I think that all of us, Steve, would love to listen. Everyone on this panel, I think, would love to sit there and say your 4-1 prediction is brilliant, because we'd all love to. We'd all love to be to be winning 4-1. I just don't ever see it as clear cut as that. I feel for as good as we've been, I do feel that when you're talking about giving up chances, I feel we give up chances.
Oh yeah.
You know,
I just think it's going to be one of those days. I just think it's going to be one of those weird days. Like, I didn't think we were going to win 8-0. And if I said to you the day before that we were going to, you'd be like, you're crazy. Like, Sheffield are bad, but not that bad. So I don't know. I just think I like, for me, if it's not going to, if who else during the season do you think could absolutely pulverize Liverpool and actually make them pay for conceding so many chances? You guys could.
Brighton,
Man City, we failed, and that was at home. And we're a good side. We're around your level. I think you are definitely up to a far better start than us, albeit we have, for a clean streak. Yeah.
I think Brighton are just so good at shifting the ball around quickly.
They create chances. They create loads and loads of chances. They create numerical overloads. I know that's hipster fancy language, Savva, sorry, but they do create a lot of good. Is
that using a double pivot and inverted players? Is that what's going on here? Are we talking generation football?
The numerical overloads. No, I don't even know why I said that. No, they create a lot of
Frank.
He bought me his pig. I don't know why he's bringing me up his pig all excited. I do. His mummy has just walked through the door, so he's like all excited.
But I do think Brighton, Kuva, you're right. I think Brighton could light him up. To be fair, but I don't know. I just feel like today could be a really good day for you guys.
Well, look, here's the table, right? I won't look past the bottom 6. I'll tell you what, though, this is actually quite a big game for many reasons. Because in the Premier League, if Liverpool were to lose, or even if Liverpool were to draw today, and Man City beat Wolves away, Man City start stretching that lead, don't they? Just ever slightly, 1 point at a time. Liverpool win, yeah. I mean, let's be fair, Liverpool could be top of the table tonight if Man City slip up at Wolves. But if Man City win, Liverpool don't, Man City's lead at the top tonight, depending on the Villa-Brighton score, could be anywhere between, could be 5 points. Yeah. You can't give a team like Man City a 5-point lead after 7 games in the season. So there's that spice, Kuva, to add to this as well. That
also, don't you have a bet on with Henry for 8 straight wins for Man City at the start of the season?
It was 7, I think. I think it was 7.
I think he stretched you to 8, if I remember rightly.
That's light work. That's light work.
Oh yeah, because the 8th is Arsenal.
That's
the 8th
right.
is Arsenal. Yeah. That's right. Yeah.
Don't beat Arsenal.
Yeah.
I think you're looking good for it, though.
Well, I just don't. I don't know. The thing is with Man City, the same thing happens every year. Man City lose a game like they lost to Newcastle the week. And true to form, you saw all the clickbait. Some of the big YouTube channels are just so clickbait. It is unreal. Yeah. Man City lose a game and all I see is, are we seeing the end of Kyle Walker? Are we seeing the demise of Ederson? Are we seeing...
Even though they didn't play against us.
Yeah, you're like... All right, they've lost a cup game. Believe it or not, in the last 6-7 years that Pep's been here, Man City haven't won every single game of football they've played. They've lose a game every now and then.
In the past 2 years. I looked it up. In all competitions, they've in 2 years. 2 years, they've lost 10 games.
And yet every time they lose... It turns. I mean, Kate. Every time Man City lose, it turns into a dilemma for. I say a dilemma. Everyone starts questioning Pep, and Pep's overthinking. Pep wasn't overthinking when they won the treble. Pep was Pep. Now they lose a game to Newcastle. Oh, he was overthinking and blah blah. Realistically, does everybody else just need to say goodbye to Man City? If they win today, Kate, and then beat Arsenal and they do 8 in a row, does everybody else just need to say, right, goodbye, we're all playing for 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th and 6th? Or do you think somebody can get at them this season?
First of all, I wasn't saying anything because I was pretending I was on mute after the bullying that I got.
Boo.
Second, do you know what? For me, Man City are going to win it, but I don't think you'll ever hear any team sort of say, well, you know, we sit back, we've got to play for 2nd or 3rd, because, you know, anything could happen. There could be a massive injury crisis at City and everything go Pete Tong. Do I think it's going to happen? No, I think City will still win it. But this is what we do. We don't have much chance to dig at Man City. So when they lose one game, everyone goes into a meltdown. It's just ridiculous. I mean, I didn't even look twice at it. Do you know what I mean? Pep didn't even look bothered. It is what it is. They're a level above everybody. So,
like, look, case in point, Big Boss Man. I love Big Boss Man in my chat. He always, whenever I bring up a stereotype fan, he always delivers. It's like he's helping me. The demise will happen. I mean, I'm guessing they're not just going to win every title for the next 100 years. I mean, at some point, yes, but at the moment, what demise? They've played 6, won 6. They're not even playing well. Like, I don't think they're even playing their best football. And I'll tell you the thing that makes me laugh, Kuva, the thing that makes me laugh about all this is it's as though fans don't watch repeat behaviour from Man City every year. It's as though they don't watch them first half, go, all right, we'll play with a handbrake on. And then from January go, right, is everybody up to fit? Right, okay, should we go on a 20-25 game unbeaten run? Go. And fans do this, or, you know, but I don't get it. It's as though we don't learn. I mean, what are you counting them out? I know for a laugh, Kuva, we always talk about Spurs winning titles and stuff, but really, can you give it to anyone other than City this year again?
No.
Liverpool would have
Absolutely.
to take 6 points from 6 against them to have a chance, which they could, to be fair. At Anfield, they have a great record against City, but at the Etihad, I don't think their record's that good. But Liverpool would need to go 6-6. Sorry, Kuva, I cut you off.
No, you're right. Liverpool do need to win those big games. Those head-to-heads are vital.
Yeah.
Because they've already dropped some points. It's simple as that. When you're chasing Man City, a lead of 3 points is sometimes you're never going to see that again. That gap stays there. And as Savva was saying, come to the end of the season, that usual charge towards their inevitable title. I've forgotten who it was brought up those crazy stats a few weeks ago, like how many games Man City failed to win within the last 15 games of the season. And it was like, they failed to win one game in about 4 seasons when you look at their last 15 games.
Yeah,
and it's crunch time.
And it was like, wow, nobody keeps up with that. Absolutely nobody. So the fact they've got off to a galloping start as well now, it's worrying, isn't it?
Yeah, I think this is the key thing. When you look at some of those stats, Kuva, as well, I saw those. And even then, when you looked at the game they lost last season, the only game they lost since Tottenham beat them in January, right, at White Hart Lane. And then after that, they went on that unbeaten run in all competitions. The only game they lost was to Brentford, which was the game, I believe it was like a game before the end of the season when they were gearing up for the Champions League final, when they'd won the league. They'd already won the league. And you just think to yourself, this is what big teams do. And that's why when football fans, I can't entertain title challenge talk from any club until they get to January, February and show that they're there and show that they're going to buy in January to help and to show that they have got the staying power. Man City get to every January, February and just go on this run. That's when you win titles. The last third of the season is when you win titles, not the first third, the second third of the season. And football fans every year, it never fails, guys, it never fails to shock me. Every single year, the same thing. Football fans are like clockwork. If Man City lose today to Wolves, it's see, Haaland hasn't scored for 90 minutes. Yeah, see, he's not that good when De Bruyne doesn't. All of these narratives that we're trying to find from absolutely nowhere come out in play.
Sorry, who are you talking to?
Anyone like I don't know, like just anyone.
Go on, Kate. You haven't been saying much.
Kate, yeah, go for it.
No, I mean, I agree with what you say. Like I said, it's very. I don't know why people jump on City. I suppose it's jealousy, really, from other clubs because they're so bloody good. So the minute they drop like any point or anything happens that's out the ordinary, i.e. they don't win, everyone jumps on it. But like you say, they never learn. Their runs at the end of the season are terrifying. So for me, it's going to take a while before anyone gets up there to fully compete. I think Liverpool will be their nearest rivals, but I still don't think that they get close enough to worry Man City. They're just different gravy for me. They take off one player and they've got their second team's probably better than most people's first team. They're that good, their depth and everything is just unreal. So, but it is what it is. All we can do is try and do what we do and let them do what they do.
Yeah.
I think for the majority of teams this season, stay within 15 points of Man City come January. That's as close as you're going to get to a title race. Liverpool being the exception, I think. I just can't see it with the Gooners. They got a good squad, but
I don't think they're good enough at all.
No,
I agree.
If they had a CDM, if Fabinho was still at that level and if they didn't get rid of him, I could see it. If they had better backup center halves, like I think they were linked with Van de Ven over the summer, right? If they brought him in, and then you have 3 core like the 3 real good center backs in Van de Ven, Van Dijk, and Konate, who I really like. I like Ibrahim Konate a lot. He's just injury prone. That's the bummer with Konate. That's the real downside with Konate. And then if they brought in a proper right back, they could challenge. So it's still a 3, possibly 4 additions off. Because back up to Salah, I still think that could be useful. Just like with Arsenal, how they're saying that they needed an actual backup to Bukayo Saka because he's playing 80 whatever games in a row. And then probably when you throw in the England games, that's probably like 95 straight games in a row. I still think they're a few pieces off. But Liverpool, I don't know. We'll see how long they can score at will. They have the depth in terms of, but like I said, that's why I do think eventually one team is going to punish them for conceding all those chances. And they are also going to have a day where they're not scoring 3 goals, where they score 1 or none, like it happens. So Man City just don't have many of those days.
Yeah, I mean, big up to Robin Bobson, who has said Savva won't want to admit it, but he knows Arsenal will challenge for the title.
State your case.
He's one of my trolls.
I just don't think they will. I called this last season and I said Arsenal won't win the title because I didn't think they were good enough. I was told that I was salty and they didn't win it. They capitulated massively. When I say capitulated, I was one of the ones actually sticking up for them, saying I don't actually think they're ready to win it.
This season, don't think they are either.
No, I agree. This season, I think they've bought badly in the summer. I don't think they've done enough. Somebody else mentioned above that they think that Man City don't have squad depth. I think they've got loads of depth. The fact that at the moment John Stones hasn't kicked a ball this season, Kevin De Bruyne has not kicked a football this season. They've got Jesus Christ. You look what they got at the back. They got Rico Lewis and Walker who can play right back. They got John Stones, Akanji, Vardial, Ake, Diaz, Gomez. And then midfield, you've got De Bruyne, Nunes, Kovacic, Phillips, Foden, Grealish, Doku, Alvarez, Haaland. It's and then the youngsters as well, like the youngsters that you have. I mean, it's scary. It's scary. But look, let's bring this back. I do want to end the show because Perchy is about to go live. Boss man, sort it out. Sort yourself out, or I'll just cut you out. Sort it out.
You're just jealous of Man City. Just admit it, big boss.
Very jealous. Very jealous. This guy's weird, man. Everything I say goes anything against me. I want some predictions for the last 60 seconds. Look, we know roughly what the teams are going to be now. We know Alexander-Arnold is fit. We know that Maddison and Son are going to play. Let me start with you, Steve. Are you sticking with your 4-1?
I am. I'm about to put a bet on it too. No, I think I think there is some reason behind my prediction. You've done it before as well. I think you won at Wembley about 5-6 years ago. You beat them 4-1. Hey, Kerry Kane.
2017.
Yeah, so you've done it before. I know it's a completely different team, but just vibes. You know what I'm saying? You beat them 4-1 in the past before.
Yeah, we've got a habit of doing that against some of the big teams, and we'll dismantle them in a game, and they completely change their playing style after it. And Liverpool did that back then.
Right. Yeah. So I don't know. I feel like everybody's saying like 3-2, 2-2. I think you guys could smack them up. They have a weak enough defense to do that, but it's on the flip side too. So I think at Anfield they could smack you. I just think the home field will give you the advantage. Well, I'll go 4-1. Go 4-1.
Steve's going with 4-1. Big boss man, you've got to give it a break. I mean, I don't think we.
Well, Spurs is bigger. What trophy?
We're bigger than Man City. All right, I'd love to be Man City small size. I'll be brutally honest with you.
Man City are making history, and everyone else isn't. West Ham are, to be fair.
Kuva, Tottenham, Liverpool, just over 6 hours away. Give me a score prediction, please, sir.
Maintain it's going to be a crazy game. I like Steve's reasoning for a 4-1. It's a possibility, isn't it? Luck has to change for both sides at some point. Liverpool getting away with it with the defence, and we're due some luck against Liverpool. So sticking with the crazy goals idea, I'm going to go for a 4-3 win.
4-3 win Spurs. Kate, we got 4-1 Spurs, 4-3 to Spurs. No pressure.
I'm going for a draw. Sorry, 2-2 or 3-3. But I do believe if we come out and start the game quickly, which we haven't done, and neither have they, but if we can get at them early and score 1, maybe 2 goals before half time, I obviously predict us to hang on and win it. But for me, it just looks like it's got draw written all over it, I'm afraid, which is good. I take a point all day long, but I would like to have Kuva and Steve's optimism.
Taking a point is so last season. It's all about the wins now.
Yeah, listen, I'm going to wrap up really, really quickly. I'll give mine in a second. Just quickly, Tigara, the single parent theory, big up to you. Said if we manage to get the 3 points today and build further belief in the system and process, I genuinely feel we could be on 35 points after 12 games. Come on, you Spurs. 35 points after 12 games. Isn't that?
It's not mathematically possible.
12, 24, 36. No, we can't do it. Yeah, we can't. That's, 3, 12, 24, 36. We've already dropped 2. Yeah, can't do it.
That was so good today, we get a bonus point.
A bonus point, yeah. Big up. Do you mean 34? 34 points. So that'll be 12 games, 11 wins and 1 draw. That's
title winning. To be fair, that is title contending form.
That is title contending form. But big up. I'm going to go with Spurs to win 3-2.
Right.
In my heart, I've got 2-2, but I want to be a bit more positive after last week. I want to say 3-2, but listen, if we lose this game, please, can we not have the massive, massive overreaction that Spurs are dead, nothing's great. Listen, I will redirect everyone now over to Perchie's channel. Please join me at 4:30 when we're doing the pre-match build-up. I think Kuva's going to join. Steve's joining for the whole watch-along. Listen, we will see you then. Peace out. And as always, come on, you Spurs.
Come on.